So we're back here with our NetBeans project, and once you guys get to the point where you need to submit some code to Desire to Learn, either for the milestone review or for the module project, you're going to need to generate a jar file. Jar is short for Java Archive, and it's basically an easy way of taking all of your work, possibly multiple classes, and condensing it down to a single file that you can upload or share with someone else so that they can make use of your code. Or for our purposes, so that I can grade your code and so that your peers in the class can review it. So NetBeans is pretty good about generating jar files automatically for us. The only problem is, by default, when you create a project in NetBeans, NetBeans will not include the source code, the .java file, in the jar file. In industry, jar files usually only contain the compiled code. So source files, the original source code, is not something that usually gets passed around. Because I need to be able to grade your code, and your fellow students need to be able to review it for the milestone reviews. We need to make sure that that source code gets included. Whenever you create a new project in NetBeans, as in a new project from scratch, and we're not going to do this very often. Usually we're going to be copying a previous project. But whenever you create a brand new project and you want to have the source code included in the jar file, you're going to need to edit your project properties. So over in the project view, select your project, right-click on it, and go all the way down to the bottom and click on Properties. And you're going to find the jar file configuration under Build Packaging. So under Build Packaging, you'll see the name of the jar file that actually gets created, and that's going to become important in just a second here. But the thing that we need to make sure that we take care of is this exclude from jar file field. And you'll see here that part of what's in this field is a filter that is going to exclude all .java files from the generated jar file. And we don't want that at all. We want to make sure that our .java files are included. We don't do any .form files for this class, but we can safely delete the contents of that field. That's the ideal, is just make sure that that's empty. And then click OK. Shortly here, I'll show you how to check on the jar file that you've created to make sure that the source code got included correctly, just to make sure that it went OK. And if you find that the source code is not getting included, you'll want to go back and check those properties again. Now, to actually generate the jar file successfully for the first time, you need to come up here and click on the Clean and Build Project button. You can find this this same button under, let's see, under Source. Oh, sorry, it's under Run. Under the Run menu, you'll also find a button called Clean and Build Project. So clicking this either under the Run menu or from the toolbar here will ensure that your jar file gets generated. So I'm going to click on this here. All right. And you're going to see a whole lot of information popping up down here. This is the process that NetBeans uses to actually generate your jar file. You'll see here this line, building jar, followed by a path on your computer to where the jar file is located. So this here on your this location on your computer is where you'll find the jar file that you'll want to upload to Desire to Learn. Just to show you how to get out there, I'm going to go into the File Explorer, the little folder, and it says to go out to C Users, C Users, and of course this location is going to vary depending on how you have your computer laid out, or where you put your NetBeans project folder. Into Documents, NetBeans Projects, Module 1 Milestone, Dist, and there is Module 1 Milestone executable jar file. So this is the file that you would actually upload to Desire to Learn when it's time to get your code out there. I'll be looking for this, the single jar file. I will not be looking for, individual source files or a zip or a folder or anything like that. Just upload the jar. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up another video that'll show you how to actually examine the contents of this Java archive to make sure that everything got included correctly. So take a look for that video on D2L.